Hello, this is Angela from Natural Living Alchemy. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be making a simple, almost 100% natural facial serum. Now, I don't know about you, but if I can make it myself while having complete control and freedom over the ingredients used, I would rather just do it myself. And not only that, but it's generally much more cost efficient to make your own products, if that's something that you enjoy doing. And after we're done making this serum, I'm going to break down what I paid for the ingredients, and you'll see what I mean by that. Before we start talking about the ingredients, I just want to invite you to check the description box below this video. And in there, you're going to find a link to the full written blog article that goes into more detail regarding these ingredients, and you're also going to find some links. Just keep in mind they are not affiliate links. These are just links that you can purchase these things and you can make this serum for yourself at home. So this serum is broken down into two different phases. So we're going to talk about phase A first, and that is going to be a slurry you're going to have to make. And you're going to need to allow that to hydrate for 20 minutes. So I just went and mixed all of this together before I started recording so that it would have time to hydrate and make that nice gel serum that we're looking for. Our first ingredient is propanediol 1,3, and this is going to be coming in at 1% of the total formulation. Now, this is a natural ingredient derived from corn sugar fermentation. It's a humectant, emollient, and skin penetration enhancer, helping to improve skin moisturization. And it also helps boost your efficiency of the preservative. Vegetable glycerin coming in at 2%. This is a natural ingredient derived from the oils and fats of vegetables. Now, you can also get glycerin from animal sources, so do make sure that yours is vegetable-based. But glycerin is a humectant that helps to draw and retain moisture into the skin. Now, the reason that we needed to allow this to hydrate is because of our next ingredient. We are using xanthan gum, and this is going to be at 0.25% of the formula. So this is a natural polysaccharide or long-chain sugar molecule produced from the fermentation of glucose, and it is a gelling agent. Now, its main use is for its thickening abilities and emulsifying qualities. Now, when you are working with this ingredient, you always want to make sure that you are dissolving it in a slurry. Generally, we would use something like glycerin or the propanediol. I'm using both in this particular serum. And if you do that, it's just going to create a much nicer serum in the end. I've heard some people talking about clumping issues with their xanthan gum. Those could just easily be avoided by making that slurry up and allowing it to hydrate for 20 minutes. And the last ingredient that's going to go in phase A is liquid dermal plus, coming in at 0.5%. Now, this is our preservative, and it is not considered to be a natural product. However, it is extremely effective, ready to use, and it is a broad spectrum preservative system that you can use in personal care formulations. It protects against gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria, yeast, and molds. So that's everything that goes into phase A. So phase B, that's where the rest of the magic comes into play. So we are going to be using distilled water. This is going to make up 58.25% of our formulation. We're going to be using sage hydrosol at 25% of the formulation. Keeping in mind, if you do not like sage, if you're allergic, you can't use it, whatever your reason, feel free to definitely switch it out for another hydrosol, or you can just add more distilled water, but I will go over that in the end. So sage hydrosol is a natural ingredient derived from the essential oil distillation process. It holds anti-inflammatory as well as soothing properties. It is antioxidant rich, and it may help with preventing premature signs of aging. It helps to control the production of sebum on the skin, and it is suitable for most skin types, including sensitive. Now let's talk about our active ingredients that are going to go into this formulation. We are going to be using niacinamide powder. So this is vitamin B3, specifically the active form of vitamin B3. And it is a natural ingredient derived from plant-based foods. It helps to visibly minimize enlarged pores, as well as help to tighten lax or stretched out pores. It can repair signs of past skin damage. It can soften fine lines and wrinkles. It can diminish dullness and improve uneven skin tone. It helps strengthen the skin's barrier function against moisture loss and dehydration, and it is a water-soluble ingredient. Next, we're going to be using panthenol. Now, panthenol is essentially the alcohol form of vitamin B5. And you might just recognize this ingredient as provitamin B5, used in a popular shampoo brand. So it is known for its moisturizing, protecting, as well as healing properties. It helps to rehydrate and prevent water loss on dry or damaged skin. The liquid version of panthenol, which is what I have and what I'm going to be using, is made up of a 50% concentration of DL-panthenol powder in distilled water. Now, if you only have the powdered version of this, you would want to use only half. And our panthenol is coming in at 5% of the formula. And panthenol is also a water-soluble ingredient. Next, we have green tea extract, and this is going to make up 2% of our formulation. This helps to reduce wrinkling, leathering, and premature aging of the skin. It is antioxidant rich, containing polyphenols, specifically one called catechins. And this is the active constituent in green tea. And these can help cool irritated skin, alleviate damage, as well as improving skin's elasticity. And this is also a water-soluble ingredient. And our final ingredient to go into this serum is lactic acid. And this is going to make up 1% of the formula. So this is naturally derived from the fermentation of carbohydrates. And it is a popular ingredient in anti-aging skincare. It helps to improve the feel and the complexion of the skin by promoting smoother skin through increasing the rate of cellular renewal and improving skin's texture as well as its tone. And this particular ingredient is soluble in water, alcohol, and glycerol. Now, the equipment that you're going to require, you're going to need a little bit of alcohol, 70% specifically, to just sanitize all of your beakers, your spoons, your whisks, everything you're using. So you're going to need beakers. You're going to need a digital scale so you can weigh everything out. You'll need some whisks, and this particular amount that we're going to be making is going to fit in a 2-ounce bottle. So you'll need one of those with a lid. And I just like to use these little funnels when I'm pouring ingredients into these small bottles. But that's it. That's all you're going to need. So you'll first start by making your slurry. And you're just going to mix it all together and just allow the xanthan gum to really just start hydrating. And just so you're aware, it won't be fully hydrated for about 24 hours. So you may notice once you have everything all mixed up that there's still these kind of little hazy dots within the product. I'll show you what I mean once we're making it, but those will completely disappear within 24 hours. Let's begin by mixing up our slurry. So you're going to want to take a digital scale with a small bowl or beaker on top. And you're going to want to add 0.15 grams of xanthan gum, 0.3 grams of liquid Germol Plus. Then you're going to want to add 0.6 grams of propandiol 1,3. Then the last ingredient to go into our slurry is going to be vegetable glycerin, and that is going to be coming in at 1.2 grams. Keep in mind the numbers that I gave you is going to be enough to make 60 milliliters or 2 ounces of facial serum. Then you're going to want to just make sure that you whisk everything until it is nicely mixed up and incorporated together. So now let's mix up the other phase of this formulation. So I just put my beaker directly on the scale. You're going to want to remember to hit tare every time that you add something to the scale and not just rely on your memory to make sure you have the appropriate amounts. I've tried that before. It didn't work. Okay, so we are going to be adding 3 grams of niacinamide powder. am using or adding powder ingredients, I like to sometimes just tap the spoon to ensure you don't dump the whole thing in there. Again, I've done that too. So I'm just going to share the different ways that I have completely messed up some of these formulas so that you can avoid those problems when you make them yourself. So we're going to hit the tare button and we're going to add 3 grams of panthenol in the liquid version, keeping in mind if you only have the powder, you would want to put in half. Next, we're going to be adding 1.2 grams of our green tea extract. Now we are going to hit tare again and we are going to add 0.6 grams of our lactic acid. Do make sure you are careful with this ingredient. I probably should have worn gloves, but I just didn't grab any from my lab space. It is an acid. You could potentially burn your skin when you're using it in this much of a concentrated form. Since it's only making up 1% of the whole formula, that is a safe dermal amount to be using. Hitting tare again. Now we want 15 grams of sage hydrosol. Hit tare one last time, and our final ingredient is going to be distilled water, and we are going to be needing 34.95 grams. There we go. Perfect. So we can just turn that off because we are done measuring everything out. Take a clean sanitized whisk and you're going to want to mix this till everything is nicely incorporated. And when you think you have it stirred enough, just keep stirring. We're wanting to make sure that we completely dissolve our vitamin B3, and we're just wanting to make sure that everything is just nicely mixed together. Improper stirring technique could, your stuff could just end up separating later if you don't have it mixed properly when you're making it in the first place. So once your phase A is just nicely, everything is dissolved, it is mixed, everything is nicely incorporated, we are going to add in the slurry. So I do find just a little spatula does tend to help, and we just want to scrape all of this out into our other liquid. Then now you just want to mix this so everything is just nicely combined and it is uniform. And then just make sure you just keep on stirring. Okay, perfect. All right, so now we are mixed. It is looking nice and uniform throughout. You just need to add your lid and you are good to go. And there you have it. You have your own facial serum that is full of B vitamins and anti-aging properties. So now let's just go over some substitutions or different recommendations on things that you might want to change out. So if you were wanting to add an essential oil, you would need to add an amount of polysorbate 20 in order to solubilize that small amount of oil. You do need to, though, make sure that all of your ingredients are water soluble, because water and oil don't generally mix, and polysorbate 20 is not going to be enough to be able to add any type of actual oil into this product. So you could switch the green tea extract out for a different water soluble extract. You could switch out the hydrosol for a different hydrosol. You could skip hydrosol altogether and just use more distilled water. You could use a different gelling agent. Now, I haven't tried a different one. I like how xanthan gum works, so I'm not entirely confident if it would be a one-to-one swap, but that's definitely something that you could play around with, and let me know in the comments what you used and how it turned out. And lastly, like I mentioned before, if you only have the powdered version of panthenol, you would want to just cut that amount in half. Remember in the beginning of the video when I said that this is a more cost-efficient way to get your own skincare products? Well, okay, so I'm going to tell you, if you went and had to purchase all of these raw ingredients, okay, and keep in mind purchasing them only in their small sizes, this was like $5, right? It would actually cost you $45.16 Canadian to get all of these products. Now, since we only used, point whatever of a gram, small amounts, the actual cost of the raw ingredients that I used was $2.17 to make the serum. I guess we could probably add another $2 for the bottle, but that's it. Now, if I was to go to Sephora and look at some of their different serums, I was looking specifically at the niacinamide serums that they have. You would be looking for about a 1.35 ounce or 40 mils. Keep in mind, we made 60, okay? It would cost you about $47.50 Canadian. That is a huge difference, okay? Just something to think about when I've talked to people about making their own stuff and they're concerned about it going to be more expensive. It really is not. But anyway, that's it. That's how simple it is to make this facial serum. Why don't you go ahead and comment down below and let me know what other skincare products are you actually interested in making. I've just been sharing with you things that I make and use on my own face and just make them with you when I've run out. But what are some things that you're actually considering learning how to make? Let me know and maybe we can work on this together. Don't forget to hit the like button if you've liked this video and share it with anyone else who you think might enjoy it. Consider subscribing to the channel so that we can spend more time together and you don't miss future videos. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, so be sure to connect with me over there as well. But I just want to say thanks for stopping by today, and I'll see you next time.